Hey guys, what's up? We're talking about Call of Duty today, and as it always is with Call of Duty, it's a sad video. There are not many great things to say, but in this video I want to look back a little bit to where Call of Duty came from, and then based on that speculate to where we might be going in the future, and also where we should be going, what I think Call of Duty should be doing to make the brand as popular as it used to be. But first of all, let me go back and reminisce a little bit about like the old games. If you remember Call of Duty 2, and also to an extent Modern Warfare 1 and everything in between, those games were commentaries on society, on war, on stories that war creates, on, negative as well as positive stories. I mean, remember the iconic scene in Modern Warfare with the nuclear blast and all that. It told these quite serious, devastating stories about war and humanity and all that. Those were games that at least attempted to have meaning, and to tell a compelling story that is rooted in reality in our world that we can relate to around us to an extent. And now, what do we have now? I mean, I only played Black Ops 3, I didn't play Infinite Warfare, and I also have to say I'm not the best Call of Duty player, obviously, but I enjoy the game, and I played all the titles in multiplayer, and I'm just someone who enjoys it. I'm not very competitive, but I'm a casual Call of Duty player, I would say. So now at this point we have, even with Black Ops 3, like this kind of very colorful popcorn entertainment shooter game that has about as much soul as a Transformers movie. And I know people are gonna hate on this, but it's just, it's plastic. It doesn't feel authentic, it doesn't feel real. The gameplay can be fun, but it lost a lot of its soul and excitement that a game like Modern Warfare 2 brought with it, right? And people are just not hyped anymore. I haven't seen anyone talking about what Call of Duty 2017 might be. Even Activision has admitted that the fans didn't like Call of Duty Infinite Warfare. But don't get me wrong, Call of Duty still sells like crazy, but we are definitely witnessing a clear decline in sales and, more importantly, in interest. Like, people just don't care about Call of Duty anymore, and I find that quite interesting. If you look at this graphic, you can see there's a clear decline after Black Ops 2 in sales. This just shows the sales of the first 2 weeks. I couldn't find one that also included Infinite Warfare, but I think this gives you an idea that we are kind of on a spiral downwards, right? Activision even had to let go 5% of its workforce because of this. This also included staff from Infinity Ward, so approximately 20 members, according to Kotaku, had to leave because Infinite Warfare was such a failure. And Eric Hirschberg, I'm sure you heard this, but he was like, oh yeah, the space setting of Infinite Warfare didn't resonate with the fans. Well, I don't think it was the space setting. It is the annual releases. It's the boredom of the game. It's the ever-repeating gameplay mechanic. It's the lack of daring, of trying to do something else with this brand Call of Duty. I think people are open for it, but they want to see something fresh. If you would have waited 2-3 years and then Infinite Warfare would have come out, I'm sure it could have been a success, because people are hungry again. They want a new game, but at this point, nobody really cares. Nobody's hungry anymore. On top of that, there's the outdated engine. The game just doesn't look very good anymore compared to other games, and also it doesn't run very well on lower machines, on PC at least. So generally, you have no very good PC support, right? There are no dedicated servers. The ports are just, I don't want to say terrible. I mean, Black Ops 3 was all right, I guess. It had its weaknesses and there were worse ports before, but still, nonetheless, you can see they don't put a lot of love into these PC ports. And generally, there seems to be a lack of care from the developers, from the publishers. Everyone just tries to play it safe. And I mean, the other point is, who's playing Call of Duty at this point? Is it like me, the mid-30 people? I mean, yes, you can see I'm playing, obviously. But I think the majority, especially on the console, the big player base, are underage kids. Obviously, that's something that Activision doesn't like to hear, but it is the reality. It is the truth of the matter. And I think, because it's a bit like this forbidden fruit thing, when you're young, a Call of Duty game that you have to be 18 for and that all the older kids seem to play, that's still exciting for you when you're like 14 or something. So that's where the numbers come from, right? They sell these games to all these kids. Obviously, that's just speculation. That's just me thinking out loud. But even Activision has declared that 2017 Call of Duty will return to more traditional combat. And they went even further and said that the game will return to its roots. So what does that mean? It could mean that, we have less flying around, maybe not a scenario that's based in the future. So it could be something that happened in the past. There were rumors floating around that it happens in Vietnam, which could be exciting, but it's also something we've seen before, at least in Battlefield games, but also to an extent in Call of Duty games. Which one was it? Was it World at War, I think, where you were in Vietnam? No, it was Black Ops. Jesus, I'm getting all my Call of Duties mixed up. That's unprofessional. I think it was a Black Ops part that was based around the Vietnam story. But you can leave that down in the comment and correct me and tell me that I have absolutely no idea what I'm talking about. Great. So it is not a bad idea to bring Call of Duty back to this traditional gameplay, and I'm more than happy to see where they go with that. But let's look a little bit at who develops Call of Duty 2017. It's Sledgehammer Games. What have they done? They've created Modern Warfare 3. But I think they heavily collaborated with other studios on that. But I do think they had the lead in the production of that game. And they created Advanced Warfare, which in my opinion is the worst game in the series, together with Ghosts. I think they still kind of have to prove themselves, right? They have to show us that they can make a really good Call of Duty game. So what do I think they will do? I think the Vietnam setting makes sense. Something that happened in the past. I don't think they're going to go, or they're going to stay in the future. They're going to create a setting that happened, and it could be like a war that you rarely heard about, like some conflict, somewhere in the middle of nowhere, and they make a game about that. I could imagine that. Vietnam is also a possibility, but those are all like quite average scenarios for me, right? That doesn't excite me. Like, none of the points I just said really get me excited about this. What they will definitely do is more microtransactions, because Black Ops 3, while Infinite Warfare kind of failed in sales, Black Ops 3 made $3.8 billion from in-game purchases. 3.8 billion. That is an insane amount of money. So they're definitely going to push that. We're going to get more colorful, funny costumes and dance moves that you can purchase. And maybe, and this is like me wildly speculating, we get some kind of remaster. I don't think they can remaster Modern Warfare 3 just yet, especially since it's not that long ago that it came out and they haven't remastered Modern Warfare 2 and all that. So I don't see what they could remaster, but they are also aware that the remaster of Modern Warfare 1 was a huge success and got a lot of people excited. So I could imagine that they do some kind of remaster. But then, you have to buy the main game that nobody cares about to get your remaster, and it's the same shit again. I'm sure they didn't learn anything from that mistake that they made with the special edition or the remastered edition of Modern Warfare, selling it with the main version, and all the hate they got for that. The most hated trailer, most disliked trailer in the history of YouTube, right? They don't care. They do this again because they're an arrogant brand. Activision thinks Call of Duty is still like wearing the crown of first-person shooters in the world. On the paper, they are the biggest entertainment franchise in the world, I think. I think they still are, right? Because they sold so many units. But in reality, the perception of this game has changed drastically. And I think the only way to win us back, all the players that are out there and are still hungry for a good new Call of Duty game, is to do what they did with Modern Warfare Remastered, but on a much larger scale. They should create Call of Duty Online, right? Which is what they do in China. You have a huge selection of maps from across all the games and a huge selection of guns from across all the games, plus new content. In China, it's free to play. I don't think that makes much sense to do over here. It could be like a monthly subscription format. That's not something I would like, but it's something that I could imagine Activision would do. And then every year you get new standalone content that is launched on this platform that already has all your favorite Call of Duty games in there, right? So you can say, oh yeah, I take all my friends and we go back and we play High Rise, right? But with the guns from Call of Duty 1, okay, maybe not that, but from Modern Warfare 1, right, in High Rise. And you can combine different games and different gun settings into new games. And that would create also a platform that would be super interesting for esports, right? Because suddenly you have a platform with like consistent physics, the way you move is consistent. You don't get a new game every year as an esport player that you have to get used to. So it would have a lot of benefits, and I think that would be something that people would get excited about, to get a platform that accumulates everything that Call of Duty created over the years in one platform. I would be super hyped about that. I'm not sure I would pay a monthly subscription, but I sure as hell would try it out, and I really would love to have that just in my Steam library. And you just click it and you have this wild amount of choices how you want to play your game. That would be exciting. However, there's no way they're going to do this because Activision still thinks, like I said, that Call of Duty is a massive crown-wearing king of all shooters brand, which it's not anymore. But that pride that they have, that kind of false pride at this point, will ruin the brand because they make decisions that are still based on this, you know, Call of Duty brand that existed around the Modern Warfare 2 times. So they've become arrogant. Like, for instance, the Modern Warfare remasters only sold with the main game. Like, what kind of a dick move is that, right? That's just stupid to do something like that. It's just arrogant and wrong. The declining sales of Infinite Warfare was the perfect thing to happen, in my opinion, to Call of Duty, because they now have to innovate. They have to do maybe a little bit bolder steps and change the game up, make it more interesting. But 2017 Call of Duty, I doubt they're going to do that. That's going to be a fairly average shooter in a setting that we are more or less familiar with. That's me speculating, obviously. But I think it's already going to have a hard time to live up to the success that Battlefield 1 is now, with roughly estimated 15 million copies sold. And that's crazy. That's a lot of games. So it remains to be seen what we're going to get this year. I'm medium excited, and I doubt that Activision is desperate enough yet to make really bold steps that would get me excited again. Guys, what are your thoughts on Call of Duty and what happened to the brand and where we are at with it now? Leave that down in the comment section below. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, share it with your friends. Do all these good things. I would appreciate them. Anyway, guys, I love you and I'll see you next time. I'm out. Bye.